Hey everyone, last day of Warrior Goddess Summer Camp. And I just want to say thank you to Serena for an amazing cooking demonstration today as ritual, cooking as ritual. I woke up this morning to incredible smell and she did such a great job. So I hope you all have been enjoying Warrior Goddess Summer Camp, whether you have watched everything or whether you're just tuning in. We have a couple more sessions. So this next half hour, we'll be talking about being bossy, why it's important for us as Warrior Goddess women to be bossy. So let's talk about that. And then we will be doing a closing in a half hour with the entire, or some of the leadership team. I'm sure not all of them can show up, but with the Warrior Goddess leadership team. So I'm going to start in a moment by reading a quote and us checking in with each other and just seeing how all of you are doing as well. So for those of you that are now joining live, if you could take a moment, the program that I'm on, I can't see if you're commenting through Facebook your name. Most of the time I can't see your name. So if you can just type your name, because right now it's coming up as Facebook user, and you can type your real name and your camp name as well. So this weekend we've been playing with camp names. My camp name is Spruce. So go ahead and share where you're tuning in from and what your camp name is. That would be lovely. Reading this morning from Warrior Goddess Wisdom 161. I just picked a page and it's perfect. I love bossy women. I could be around them all day. To me, bossy is not a prerogative term at all. It means somebody's passionate and engaged and ambitious and doesn't mind leading. And that's Amy Poehler. Welcome, everyone. Hey, Robin from Mexico, San Cristobal de las Casas. Hey, Deirdre, shooting star, love it. Robin, I love the photo of you yesterday lying down listening to the broadcasts. So today's, let's do the reading first. Hey, Erin from Chino. Let's take a cue from Amy and reclaim the word bossy. Let's sing it to the rafters, launch as a compliment, and own it for ourselves. Bossy babes unite. Imagine the best boss ever. Someone who's not afraid to lead, not afraid to make mistakes and share their struggles and learning process. Someone who can inspire and help others grow with compassion and playful enthusiasm. A woman whose ambition and sense of purpose unify her team while valuing their differences. Now, don't you want to be that bossy woman too? Today's action. Zero in on the most passionate, ambitious leader you can think of. Listen to a podcast featuring them or read an interview or biography and make a note every time you're excited by their bossy behavior. So, and one of the first things that I share in our 9-month-long Ignite program, Warrior Goddess Wisdom and Embodiment that we teach online, is for us to find female role models and how important that is, and also male role models. And often, as women, when I ask women this, like, who are your role models? Who are your role models when you were a kid? We sometimes have very few female role models. It's kind of horrifying to realize. So let's think about this idea of what it means to be bossy and what it means to be passionate about something. So I'm going to differentiate what I think of as controlling versus passionately bossy. So when we try to control situations or people or things, we close down and we have an agenda. And usually we're trying to control because we want to feel safe. The difference when you're passionate about something, when you have all your energy and you're in that like directing, leadership, boss mode, is that you have to surrender to the flow. Women that are in leadership that are from that place of surrendered passion know when to let go. Someone that's controlling doesn't know when to let go, and they dig their heels even harder and push and try and force things to happen. And as warrior goddesses, we need to learn. I'm going to give me 1 second. The light is bouncing off of my yurt and right into my eyes. So let me close my window. Oh, much better. So, what are you passionate about? What do you feel lit up around? And what if you were willing to use your voice around that passion to really step out? You can be passionate about anything. But I think so often as women, we're taught to be nice, to be quiet, to be predictable, to be small. This isn't true for all of us. Not all of us are trained this way, but many of us are. And the women that have either gone past their own conditioning or didn't get conditioned that way. I remember, I think I was reading a book or watching a video about a woman who was always taught you have to be, be strong, get out there. And yet there was also trauma around that because the message was nobody else is going to take care of you. You have to do everything by yourself. You have to be strong. So there's gifts. I believe there's gifts in all of the ways that we're domesticated. And there's also places that cause harm and places that we then continue that harm on ourselves. Being full, having your voice, speaking up, for some of us goes around against a lot of training that we've had. But how do we do that? I believe one of the ways is we look at other women and other men that are lovingly outspoken. So I just read, I'm going to go find this and share it with you in case you haven't read it. I just read the final New York Times editorial that John Lewis wrote. So John Lewis is an incredible civil rights activist, congressman, and I'm really just learning about him now, which is embarrassing, honestly. 3 days before he died, something like that, a few days before he died, he wrote an editorial for the New York Times. If you haven't read it, please go read it. I'll find it and post it here. And it starts basically, even though I'm not here with you, here's what I want to share. And this is an outspoken human, an outspoken Black man that went through the civil rights movement, that marched in Selma, that was arrested, that was beaten, that spoke up and acted for the right of Black people and of all humans, and then continued his entire life to speak up. And he talks about this idea of making good trouble, necessary trouble. That is a powerful lesson for us. And there's lots of women. I'm thinking about John Lewis this morning because I just read this beautiful, I'm just going to go find it for you all. Last words. So good. All right, loves. So I am not camping right now. All right. Boop. So who are some of the women models that you are inspired by, that are outspoken or that are fierce? So one that comes to mind is Gloria Steinem, Angela Davis. Some of the women that I think about when I was a kid who I really looked up to was Linda Carter, the original Wonder Woman. She was definitely a hero for me. So who else? Let's share some words. And oh my God, this woman that I found today, epic. It was an interview with a woman who was a twin, who when she was young, her entire family was brought to the concentration camps in Auschwitz. And she and her twin were separated from never saw her family again, and hugely experimented on. And she was talking about forgiving the doctors, forgiving everything that happened to her, and how she realized that was her taking her power back. It was a beautiful video. I'll try and go find it and share it with you guys as well. Yeah, let's see. So Elizabeth, Eleanor Roosevelt, Madeleine Albright, Yap, AOC, Alexandria Ortiz. Now I'm spacing on her name. Okay, we'll remember in a second, of course. Maya Angelou, Wonder Woman, Prime Minister of New Zealand. Yes, she's been a beautiful representative of standing up for her people. Audre Lorde. Yes, make necessary trouble. Ruth Bader Ginsburg, beautiful. Adele Morales. Hi, Adele. Good morning. Good morning. Nancy Wake, French resistance warrior. Ooh, I'm going to go look her up. Awesome. Who else? I can go find this video. Twin. Here it is. Oh my God, this is the documentary. That's probably too long. Excuse me. Okay, I'll share this one. Who else? Yes, Angela Davis. Lila June, absolutely. Thank you, Alexandria Cortez Ocasio. Thank you. Doreen Doe from Portland, Oregon, USA. Beautiful. Hi, Doreen. Originally from Bayer. I love that. Thank you. So funny, 3 days ago, I spent all this time with my kitties on my chest. I wasn't feeling well, and I was just really exhausted. And I'm really allergic to cats. But I'm lying in my bed, and my cats are on my chest, and I'm just like, this is the best. So I'm feeling it. That's good. Michelle Obama. Yes. So for those of you that are just joining us, thank you, sweetheart. We are sharing who are some of the leaders that we're inspired by, some of the bossy women, some of the outspoken women. Oh, good. I'm glad, Doreen, that you liked Doreen Doe, that you liked the garden tour this morning. Oh, the colonel in the Army who was my Girl Scout leader. I love that. Yeah, another one. So when I lived in Bangkok and I rode horses, Mrs. Rhodes, she was my horseback riding instructor, and she was also at our camp. Whoa. German, raised in Thailand. She spoke English, German, and Thai fluently. She was fierce and bossy as hell. I loved her so much. Incredible role model. Oh, thank you, sweetheart. Jane Fonda, Katharine Hepburn, Gloria Steinem, Barbara Marx Hubbard, Hillary Clinton, my mother, Janet. Yeah, Ann Richards, another great one. Georgia O'Keeffe, yes, from New Mexico. You and all the summer camp counselors. Aren't the summer camp counselors amazing? So beautiful. I agree. All my heroes are the summer camp counselors for sure. Warrior Goddess Leadership Team rocks. Really rocks. Good. Couple more. Oops. I clicked on that, which put it up. Give me a second. Let me go fix something I just did. Hide. Okay, there we go. Oprah Winfrey. Although she's not so bossy. She's very bossy. I love it. Frida Kahlo. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Oprah's a good one. Oh, I love that. It's easier to ask forgiveness than get permission. Who was that? Yeah, Maya Angelou. Absolutely. Bree Walker, first on-air American television network news anchor with electrodactyly hand deformed, became a disability rights advocate. That's great, or activist. My high school art teacher, Virginia Hinchman. Yeah, I remember I've had some great teachers. So yeah, I can think of a lot of Maxine Waters. Yeah, another beautiful author, right? Am I thinking the same? Maxine Waters? Alice Walker as well. Beautiful. Amelia Earhart. So how do we be more outspoken, more bossy in the best way possible without controlling? Because I'll tell you this, sweethearts, this is our last summer camp lesson, is that we want to be big. Like, we're not coming to summer camp to go, well, I don't know if I can do that. Well, maybe I shouldn't rock the boat, right? Summer camp's about learning how to do things you didn't think you could do. And if we were out on the land, we'd be teaching people how to make adobe bricks, how to build houses, how to chop down trees with chainsaws, how to cut wood, how to live outside, how to survive, how to use your skills, to learn new skills, to be on the land. And I think these are tools and skills that all of us really benefit from. So grandmother Mary Lyons, yes, isn't she amazing? Mother Teresa, Beyonce, my spirit mom, June, hey Jamie, June LeGrand, Anne Marie Sayers, yeah, beautiful. I'm realizing that while I did not get this while I was a girl, my mom, who is a quintessential independent woman who modeled what it was to be strong and courageous. I agree. I also want to put my mom in this wonderful category. So my mom's name is Maggie Gaudette. Hi, Mom, if you're watching. I have an incredibly strong mama, and she always modeled independence and strength. Both my mom and my dad really supported Christy and I in being our own people. And my mom is fierce. She's loving and fierce and wonderful. So thanks, Mom. Lady Gaga, Gandhi, Leia, my mom too. Yeah, mamas. So I love teaching women and I love learning. So I just learned how to build a shed and use power tools. And so we just erected a shed on the land, and I got to watch Franklin create the panels for it, and we erected it. My friend Marilyn was there, and she's an incredible carpenter. And it was so amazing to learn how to use the drill bit to drill into the metal to make screw holes to put the pro panel roofing up, and how to put down the what's it called? I can't remember. It's kind of plywood, to put that down. And just to gain that skill, to be able to erect a building, to learn about the well on the property, to learn about how to use a chainsaw. So there's all of these skills that we can gather in whatever way. And it doesn't have to be such physical skills. Not all of us have the body capacity to do physical things like that. But to look at how do we empower ourselves so that we feel more capable in whatever way that is. And that might be lots of little ways that you play within your life. And that might be some more ways that you challenge yourself. But you get to feel in your body. And as you know, we are continue to be in lockdown, there's lots of ways that we can build skills. There's lots of ways that we can be inspired by other women, by leaders, by learning how to really speak up in a good way. And that we can also explore this idea of the difference between honestly leading and controlling. Because they're really similar in a way, but there's a big difference between them. And I talk about this a lot in the strategies. So in Warrior Goddess training, one of the teachings is about these 4 strategies that keep us stuck: controlling, pleasing, isolating, and distracting. The truth is, with all of the strategies, there's gifts and there's ways that the strategies call us to suffer. So the gift is the healed part. And the truth is, all of us have these different strategies, and we're using them to keep ourselves safe. So we control, or we please other people, or we constantly distract ourselves, or we isolate to keep ourselves safe. And when we're healing that aspect of ourselves, we're integrating the gifts. Okay, so why is controlling not helpful? Because we think it has to go a particular way. And that doesn't help us be good leaders. Okay, and summer camps are such a great example for this. Summer camp was a great teaching for me, a really big teaching for me as a leader. Because I made the agreement in the beginning that I wasn't going to be involved at all, because I wanted to give space for the Warrior Goddess Summer Camp team, for the leadership team, to step up and to learn how to lead. And I knew if I was part of the process, people would turn and look to me. And I would also jump in there and take charge. And so I totally said, okay, I'm not going to be part of it at all. And it was so hard, because in the beginning it was rough. They were struggling. They were trying to figure out how to communicate with each other, what the theme was, what they were going to do. And I kept thinking, well, I should just jump in there. And I remember I'd call Serena every once in a while and be like, Serena, do you need me? She'd be like, no, we don't. Stay out. Stay out. And I was like, okay. And it was such a huge gift to watch the process, to stay out of it, to not try and control it, but to let it evolve. And it turned out into this incredible thing that was a collaboration of a lot of strong women. So what a huge gift. Okay. So let's keep being bossy, being outspoken, with love and surrendering up. So when you are an outspoken, passionate, creative woman out in the world, not everyone's going to like you. Not everybody's going to be able to hear you. Don't waste your energy trying to convince people that don't want to be convinced. Find people that are passionate in the ways that you are passionate in. Find people that are aligned. So what I love about the Warrior Goddess community is that the amount of support that's here, the amount of love, the amount of compassion. And yes, sometimes in the Warrior Goddess women group, it gets challenging because we have new women coming in that don't know the guidance of this container and how solid we hold this container, and that we are very dedicated to not hurting or demeaning each other. Much of the time, there is just this incredible love throughout this community. And that's what we're learning how to do. We're learning how not to compare ourselves to other women. We're learning how not to compete with other women. We're learning how to not tear down other women. So when you see a woman that is passionate and outspoken, don't tear her down, even if you're not passionate and outspoken in the same way. See that she is following her guidance. And that we're here to learn how to support each other. And that's not always easy. But how we do that is learning how to support ourselves. Committing to ourselves. Committing to finding our voice. Yeah, so true. Lift each other up instead of putting each other down. Calling each other in instead of calling each other out. Very, very different quality of energy. And so how do we call ourselves in to own our power from a place of love? To really move ourselves towards freedom, letting go of what doesn't serve us, to continue to align with life. Yeah, release judgment, exactly, another huge one. So as we start to close summer camp, this is the second to last session. So we'll have one more session in a moment to do our final closing. Yeah, to be able to stay steady even when we disagree. So, so true. And that means we're centered in what's true for us. We know where we're coming from, and we're willing to adjust. We're willing to learn. We're willing to try again. That's, again, the difference between controlling and leading. Is that we are willing to make mistakes. We're willing to feel unsafe. We're willing to try again. We're willing to put ourselves out there even when it feels scary. Let's support ourselves and each other in staying centered regardless of what's happening around us. And I feel like that's the biggest gift that we can hold, is our own centeredness in the chaos. And that centeredness comes from our deep, deep roots into the earth, that connection that we know that we are held, that we are part of something greater. And that we also open up our branches wide to connect to our intuition, to our creativity. And that we continue to blend these qualities of warrior, clarity, focus, commitment, and goddess, opening, flexibility, creativity, surrender. We need both. And as we embrace all of these qualities and learn how to find the right mix for the time that we're in, and that changes, we become more flexible, more resilient, more sustainable. I really want us to be a circle of women that are deeply supportive of each other, that are dedicated to social justice, to love, to getting in good trouble, that are dedicated to honoring the women that have walked before us, the ancestors, the elders, and looking towards how can we be good role models for the ones coming after us or that are coming in now. May we continue to remember that beautiful Native American saying of remembering 7 generations back and 7 generations forward. And that we need women's wisdom at this time, now more than ever. Yeah. All right, beloveds. We are going to be back in a couple minutes. I'm going to close 1 minute, actually. I'm going to close this session, and then we're going to come back with all the Warrior Goddess Summer Camp leadership team. So we'll see you right here in 1 minute. Much love to each of you. We'll be right back.